Right, good afternoon. A little bit early, so we'll give it a minute and see who comes in. Got 2 minutes to go. So I hope you can hear me okay. I don't know if there's anybody in. I've never used YouTube Live before, so this is a first for me. But just to let you know, I'm using OBS to broadcast my screen. I have YouTube over here, so you can leave me messages. And I'm a complete novice to this game. I got this game about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I have played a game already to get a general idea, but the whole point of this video is to, or these live videos that I'm going to do, is for everyone else to help out and show me the best ways to play this game. Right, I've downloaded no mods or DLCs. Still trying to figure out what they are. There are a couple of mods that were pre-installed when I downloaded the game from Steam, so there were a few mods pre-installed when I downloaded this game, so I am trying to figure it out. So if anybody's got any suggestions on gameplay, I would be more than happy to hear those. So like I said, this is my first time. My name's Mark. If you've got any questions, please do leave me a message over there. Right, it's 4 o'clock. I'm going to stay here for more than an hour today, and then we're going to do an hour every day. Hope you can hear me all right. If there's anything you want to point out, any questions, please do give me a shout. So I'm playing on PC. Excuse me. And as I say, I do have a game already playing. It's got about 17,000 people. I've played it for about 8 hours maybe, and it's grown quite quickly. But I'm going to start a completely fresh game, start from scratch, and then after each hour I'm going to save it, and then I'll come back to it again tomorrow. So like I say, any questions, anything that you can help me explain, understand what I'm missing, please do pop a comment below, and I'll take it all in. And if there's anything I need to go and research, I shall go and look it up tonight. There's loads of YouTube videos out there on this game. It's been around for about 5 years, I think now, and from what I can tell, it's just grown bigger and bigger. I came from SimCity, used to love playing SimCity, but it got a bit old and drab and dreary, and you're pretty much stuck in a little square and you couldn't do much more. So this is why I came to this game, and it seems to be everything I'd hoped it'd be so far. So anyway, let's get straight in. Let's go for a new game. Now there's all sorts of scenarios. Like I say, I haven't bought any DLCs or any mods connected for this, so we're just gonna pick. I haven't even decided. There is no plan to this, by the way. We're just literally going to go with anything we can find. So let's go find a nice, fairly flat one to start off with. It's got a city name of Veers. Let's change that. Well, I live in Ely, which is in Cambridgeshire in the UK. We drive on the left-hand side, so let's go left-hand drive. I don't have any custom maps or anything. Based on the theme of Europe, and it's got 84% of the area is suitable for building, which is great. So yeah, so we're going with Grand River. I'll give it a new city name, and let's just hit start and see what happens. So just loading up. There we go. Okay, so here's our square. Oh, we've got 2 junctions on this one, which is handy. Didn't have that before. Right, so we've got Chirpy up here, is hopefully going to give us some advice along the way. And we've obviously got our question mark, the advisor, down below. So anybody who's not played this game before, if you're watching, basically the idea is to build a city. It's a very clever game, and there is a lot to take in, and so we're just going to run around it and get some ideas of where we are. So first of all, the city is paused, so it's not going to go anywhere from here, so we can build to our heart's content without worrying about people moving in and getting in our way and what have you. As we can see from this city, there's a river that runs right through it. I don't think we can look at which way the river's flowing just yet. We'll get to that in a moment. We've got two roads in, two main roads in from two what looks like motorways. There's a railway line over this side, which we cannot connect because our build area is within this square. And down here we have lots of things that we can I've discovered. There's roads, zoning, which we'll come to very shortly, districts, which we can name an area, electric, we can supply water, sort out our garbage, bring in healthcare, fire department, police, educate the people, create mass transport, put in parks and plazas, which is great for making an area much nicer. Something called unique buildings, never got to that stage yet. When I reached this on my last game, nothing came up, so I think this might be a thing that you have to buy. Monuments, again, didn't quite get there. I think there was one to do with the industrial area, but again, we'll look at that. Landscaping, that was a minefield. I had to really look up YouTube and figure that one out, but anyway, we got there in the end. And then there's everything about the economy, and we can create policies, but we'll get to all of that. That's way in the distance yet. First thing we have to do is create some roads, and I guess try and get some people in. So what I think we'll do is we'll make this area here our residential and commercial area, and we'll fling our industrial area over here. It'd be very why can't I? I'd like to know where, which way my river's flowing. I've got a feeling it's going that way, but we shall find out in a moment. Let me just build some roads first of all. So we have a dual carriage road, left-hand drive, and we need to build, but the only road available to me so far is this one. Now, I am led to believe that when you do that, yep, and then obviously more roads come up. So what I've now done is I've built a little road here. I'm going to delete that, and I'm actually going to put in some of these bigger roads. Now, when you're building roads, I've noticed that it's got like subsections on, and I'm stupidly pointing at the screen and you can't tell. But these little subsection wires, these blue lines that go across, are every 10 squares, I believe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so every 10 squares. And yet, when you build something, they're built over 4 squares when it comes to zoning, and I'll show you what I mean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out 40 spaces, and I'm going to build that there. And then I'm going to do the same. Right clicking will remove that bit there, and then I'm going to build another one. Oh no, that's in the wrong place. So there, and then I'm going to put that to there, and then that is roads coming in, roads going out. And now I watched a very interesting YouTube video the other day which said you should turn this into a roundabout, and it made perfect sense considering we've got cars coming in and we've got cars going out. So what I'm going to do is down here you have different types of roads. So you've got bendy roads, curved roads, freeform roads, and you can even upgrade the roads. So we'll come back to those in a minute, but we're going to get this curvy one here, and and then I'm going to go to there, and then no, I've done that wrong straight away. So let's go back there and do that. Right, so anytime you want to stop a road, you just right click a button, that will stop it from building up. So I'm going to go to the next line, and it's gone back to there again. So let's delete that. See, it's quite tricky if you're not used to this. So take off that again. Using the one-way system, I'm going to go out to 10, and then that's it. There we go. So as you drag out, you click. So there we go. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go out. Try that again. So start from there. No, it's not doing what I want it to do. It's quite awkward this when you. So let's zoom in a bit there. So this is where I want to start. I want to go out 10, but it's a space already occupied. I find it quite tricky. So if anybody's got any ideas about how to make this easy, there we go. And then drag that to there, and then put one there, drag it to there, and then right, let's try again, drag that to there and drag that to there. So there we go. So now we've got a little roundabout in. It comes a long way in, but that's absolutely fine. So we've kind of got there, I think, with that. It take a moment. So we're going to build, we're just going to do 90-degree roads off here, but we'll put main roads in. So let's go to here, grab a main road. There's different types of main roads, but we're going to just stick with kind of the dual carriageway at the moment. We're going to go out 40, so 1, 2, 3, 40 squares to there, and then right, okay, I need to, that's the other thing, it's always making sure that you've got the right road selected. So we're doing 40 to there, and then we're going to do 10, 20. I'm going to zoom in a bit here so I can see what I'm doing. And so all of these are really tricky until you play with it quite a lot, and eventually you'll figure it out. So, and then we'll do 40 into there, and that will stop there. So we'll literally make that a dead end about there. All right. So now what we're going to do now is get some smaller roads, and as you can see, there's these little blue dots on each of these. So on each of these blue dots here, I'm going to do roads that crisscross from each other. So we're going to go from there to there, then we're going to go from there to there, and then go from there to there. Now I could do roads that go across, and then we're making kind of zigzag formations. The only problem is with doing that, you're taking away some of the real estate that you're building for these residents that are going to move in here. So we're going to zone these in just a moment, and turn these into residential properties and zoning. So as you can see, there's all these squares here which show where zoning can be done. So let's just go across here, and we can actually watch residents start to move in. So as I've clicked on the zoning panel here, this one here is residential. This one's high density residential, which you can't do till later. You've got commercial, you've got industrial, and you can also dezone. So if you make a mistake on zoning, you can come back. So we're going to grab this rectangle here, and we're just going to turn that green, and I'm also going to turn that green. We'll just completely fill that little square up in there. And what I'm going to do while I'm here is I'm actually going to turn this into commercial. Now you can build along these bits as well, but this is the main road in, so I want to really keep this clear. I don't particularly want to allow any of this going on. Now the other thing that we need to think about here is, well, I'll tell you what, let's hit play, and we'll see what happens. So we'll close everything down, and we'll hit play, and we'll go 2 times the speed, and it won't take long for something to start happening. Let's go 3 times the speed. In fact, there we go, straight away. So let's slow it down a touch. As you can see, residents are starting to move in, buildings are starting to be built. Didn't take long at all. Let's get that straight down here, and we can watch these guys moving in. And we're only on normal speed here, so 1, 2 and 3 are the different speeds that you can do. So we're 1, 2 and 3, so we're on 1. Chirpy's trying to tell me something, and he's, as things happen, he will begin to tell us. Now, here we go. So this is what I wanted to do. So I'm going to hit pause again right here. So as you can see, we've got warning symbols, and they are to do with electric and water. Now, what I need to do is know which way my river is flowing. And as you can see, it's flowing from left to right here. So good water up here, and we can generate the bad water down here, because we're going to need sewage. So let's just hit stop again. So let's start with electric. So we've got different types of electric things that we can use here. We can have a coal power plant, we can put up wind turbines, and we've also got power lines to take power from either our coal plant or our wind turbines to the housing. Now, what we need to do is know if there is much wind. As you can see, this is quite, according to this here, we have quite strong winds, and so we could put wind turbines along here and generate our electricity. I've never used wind turbines, so we will do that on this occasion, and I'm going to put them all along here. So I'm going to put 1 or 2 along here, and I'm not sure how much electric these generate, but we're about to find out. And what I now need to do is connect, even if it's just temporarily, some power to this region here. And the region that needs electric, as you can see, is outlined in blue, and as you can see, this area here has electric. So I need to connect these two areas, like I say, even if just temporarily, with electric. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put my electric, make sure I've got the right thing here, electric cable along here, and then I'm going to connect it to there. Now we'll move that eventually, because that area will start to grow as people start to move in, and so everywhere there now, if I hit play, let's get rid of that screen there, we'll zoom in. As you can see, still wanting electric, but with any luck the wind turbines will start to move. There we go, and all of a sudden these people will have electric, and the electric will disappear. So, but we still have a problem, they still need water. So next things is to find some water. Now under the water tab here, we have our water pipes, water pumping station, we can have a water tower, and then we also have sewage. We're going to need sewage, but just initially we're going to set up some water pumping stations, and as soon as you click that, you can see that the water travels in this direction. So the cleanest water is going to be up here, and the idea is, as far as I'm aware, is to get the cleanest water. So we're going to stick a water pumping station here, and then I'm going to get a water pipe. And now the idea is that you need to cover as many of the housing problems as possible. The blue will show where the water is available. So I watched a YouTube video the other day, and they said that if you go 440 across, you will then cover the line down. So you do one line up, one line down. Excuse me. So at 440 there, and you can then scroll back down, and it will give you complete coverage of the area that you're trying to complete, and we'll do the same here as well. Now there's no need to feed it back. It doesn't need to feed back, it can just be one-way traffic. So that will cover all of the area that we've already paved and marked as zoned for water. So let's get rid of that. We can zoom in. You can see they all want water. We hit play, and hopefully within a few seconds. There's one other thing we forgot to do, is this pumping station needs electric. So actually, if we hit play, you'll see that it will come up with its own "I need electric" problem. So what we can do from here, back to our electric pipeline, grab one of those, the power lines, and from the end of the power line that we set up before, we should, in theory, although it's not liking the fact that I'm trying to connect across, there we go, and then back down. So you might have to just, if you're crossing roads, you might just have to click it, and then it will eventually go across a main road like that. But as you can see, it's not blue like these at the moment because we've not clicked play. So give that a moment, let that click play, and this should light up. There we go, starts to light up now. So electric gets to there, take that off, and all of a sudden everybody is happy, and there is no. So that's how we get electric and water. As you can see, they're moaning now about sewage. So next thing to do is to back to our water. Let's hit pause again. One thing I noticed while playing before, it's always good to hit pause whenever you're about to do some more actions, because people are starting to move in and it can get quite messy. So I got into the habit of hitting pause in between doing each action. So the water, the clean water, is on the left hand side of the screen. The what we can make dirty water for now, down at the bottom. We don't want dirty water getting into the clean water, so we put dirty water downstream, and eventually we'll clean all of this up as population grows and more items are available to us. We'll start putting in water cleaning stations and things, but we don't have any of those at the beginning of the game. Our only option to remove sewage is a water drain pipe, which literally seeps sewage into the river, which is not great, but it's what we've got at the moment. So we'll pop that up there. The other problem we've got is it will need its own electric supply, but we'll look at that at just a moment. And you also need to feed it from the pipes. Now it can go from the normal water pipes that you've already laid. So the water pipes that you laid will carry both clean water and sewage water. So we're just going to connect up the end of the water pipe that we had, and we're going to feed it straight into the sewage place down here. So that is now all connected. Next thing to do is just to give it some electricity. So we'll go to our electric tab and we'll put in another power line from the wind turbines to the water sewage, and we'll get rid of all of those, and fingers crossed the sewage problem will soon disappear as well, and this will start to seep out sewage. There's no electric warning coming up, so it should be working. There we go. So water sewage is now feeding through, and all of that has now disappeared. So everybody is happy at this moment in time. So let's speed it up. We put commercial zoning in, so let's have a look at our zone. So some commercial zoning can go here. We've got residents moving in here. We've got it on slow, so we can take our time. Next thing we need to do at some point is to give them all jobs, and the way they give them jobs is through the commercial and through the industrial zone. Now I'd like to be able to build a bridge across here, but that may have to wait. That's a fairly big river, but maybe we could give it a try. That's the whole point of what we're doing today. So let's line this up. So I'm having to use my keyboard. I can't get used to the mouse version. So if anybody's got any better ideas of how to, there we go. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and draw a road across here with a bridge. If I can. So now, where do we start? So first things first, I think we need to build the bridge first. So let's, as you can see, the first commercial property is moving in over here. Now, let's put a road to there, just a very short road. And then from there to there. Now, I think it was page up allows us to, that's it, so page up allows us to go up a level. Now I don't have a lot of money here, so before we do that, let's come out of there. Now down in the control panel there is one over on there. I don't think you can see it unless I click it. That will come up with our economy. Now we don't have any loans at the moment, which would be useful, so I can't build a bridge at the moment because I don't have enough money. So however, what I can do, no I can't, is I can turn. Now it's always useful to try and save yourself some money. I found out in the last game that I started, try and save yourself some money by turning down the electric and the water expenditure every week, because as you can see I'm still losing 650 whatever currency it is, 616 a week, and I can't adjust budgets yet, and so we're going to have to leave that bridge until we get to our first milestone, which is 360. So it won't take as long to get there, probably in the next 10 minutes or so, especially if I speed it up a little bit. We can get there fairly quickly. Not sure why, but my camera has gone into square shape. Let me just right, so we're trying to build up. We've only gone up by a few, but let's see if we can build it up. Maybe if we start to build some industrial and give people work, that might speed things along a little bit. So let's go back to our roads. Right, hit pause. Back to our roads. Let's make a main road, another main road. From here, and we'll just go through across because we're heading towards the, and I've noticed that you don't particularly need as much industry in the early stages. Go to there. Oh, you see I've already run out of money. That's not good, is it? So let's just go to there and we'll zone that in industrial. We'll zone that bit in industrial, and then we'll see if we can build up some money. Oh, you see we've already gone into minus. That's not great. So I'm hoping that we can start to build that up fairly quickly. We can go and get a loan in a moment as soon as electric. I need electric. See, that's why we're doing this. Try and don't have enough money, and I can't do anything about it. I probably built too much too early. Let's zone that area and see if we can encourage people in. We're still in the minus, but we are now earning money every week, and hopefully within a few seconds I shall be able to build. There we go. So I still don't have enough money, just need to get to 400. Hopefully they're not going to leave before we get there. Yeah, that's going up quite quickly now, so we're starting to make some money, which is quite nice. There we go. Right, so give these guys some power. They should already have water because we fed the pipes far enough around. How are we doing for time? 31 minutes. Excellent. So we're about halfway through. I'd suggest building a small road to the other side of your roundabout and chucking some industrial. Doesn't need to be pretty to start. Ah, thanks, Martin. Yeah. Thanks, Martin. Yeah. I probably did overspend in the beginning, but I noticed on my last city that I did, which is the only one I've done so far, is that I didn't, and I ended up demolishing old neighbourhoods. And maybe that's part of the game, I don't know. But it certainly it wasn't a pretty way kicking people out of their homes, and my population dumped very quickly. So anyway, so we're pretty close to our milestone of 360. And then as soon as that happens, we can chuck some money in there in the bank from a loan. Which is not a bad loan. Oh yeah, I was going to try and sort out why my camera's gone into square shape. Well, that's just doing that. When I started this, I lost like half a dozen cities before my first one stuck. It's a rite of passage, yeah. I can imagine. It's quite a complex game, and I think that's probably why I'm going to enjoy it. So I'm enjoying another game at the moment, which is random dice, and the beauty about that one is it takes minutes to play each sort of level. There we go. So I've now hit my milestone. So it says on here I've got new features, which is taxes and loans, so I can do that. I can put in garbage, create healthcare, education, build a landfill site, a school and a medical centre. I'm going to need some help with that financially. So in here, now I fiddled about with taxes when we first started, and I was able to go to 12% on everything before people started moaning at me, and it was a good way to make some money. So I built that right up, and I also took out under the loans tab the Silver Sunset Bank loan, which is 20,000 whatever the currency is over 52 weeks, and you're paying a little bit back. So I took that, and yeah, it was well worth having because it helped me get things done. So I'm going to stop here for a minute. So next thing, you can see that we've now got people moaning at me because they've got too much rubbish. There's one over there as well. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to put rubbish over this area. This is where I'm going to make a pretty area. I'm probably going to do the same over here now. I've started building my industry here. So I'm going to put a landfill down here. So in the garbage there are two things, but one of them is blacked out. An incinerator plant, which is not available until I get 7,500 people, and a landfill site, which is available now. The only problem is with landfill sites, once you've ruined that area, it's gone for good. I believe I couldn't find a way to get rid of a landfill site from the last one that I played. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to build a very minor track road because it's the cheapest one. And I'm going to come out here and I'm just going to build a little road to here and then back into the garbage, grab my landfill and pop it right there. Can't remember if that needs power or not. We'll find out in a moment. So let's hit play again. Hopefully then people will start to tell me if I need power. It's not telling me anything at the moment. I don't think a landfill site needs power, but we're about to find out. As you can see, a truck has already left there, and he's off collecting some garbage, which is great. So I don't know how long he takes to come back, but at least that's done. You can empty a landfill site into an incinerator. Once it's empty, you can delete it. Brilliant. Thanks, Martin. Great tip. And I shall try that on my other city later on. Right, where are we? 36 minutes. So we've got about 25 minutes left here. So let's speed this up a touch. Let's see if our garbage collector comes back. Right, so we've got a population of 369. We have 39,000 Cs, whatever they are. Now then, let's just, we've got something being mentioned over here. I think it's probably, you can, right, yep. I'm not entirely sure what he was telling us, this chirpy. Never thought it would take so long to collect garbage. Taking the trash out, right, okay. So that's all about garbage, but hopefully that is now resolved. Oh, right, so down here we can see that people want more industry, and I'm assuming that's for jobs. So what we're going to do is we're going to make another road here. Let's just grab this road. I'm going to pop that across there, and we're going to zone some industry. We'll pop some there as well. There we are, and that'll soon start to grow. Now, actually, Martin, you seem to know if you buy DLCs like Grids, recycling centres. Yeah, I was going to come to DLCs, but I was going to come later in the week because I'd like to know a bit more and actually go and buy some. So the other thing here we go. Now this is it. So when I roll over this, I don't particularly want to have all of this area. So I think you can grab, there we go. That's all I want to do. I just want that bit done. Right, there we go. So this little area down here allows you, so you can either have the whole thing, that's 1 square at a time. So that allows you to fill the whole area. This one just does 1 square at a time. This one allows you to brush in a zone area, and this area, like, you can do a bigger zone area. So that's quite useful. I was always wondering if that was there, and I just found it now. So so that hopefully now that's our industry starting to drop, but now we're saying that they want more commercial. So somehow people have some money in their pockets and they want to do some more shopping. So let's give them some commercial. We may as well use this road that I started to build on. Now maybe we'll go down a touch and expand on this road that we started on it. So let's hit pause again and grab a couple of main roads, and we'll come, let's go 20 out and back to, that will create a bit of a problem, so we'll go to there, we'll put that in there. Yes, that's destroyed a building, I get that. But what we'll do now is we'll grab a smaller road here, and we'll go from there to there, and then we'll commercialise all of this area. So that's now giving us a fairly big commercial area. What I'm going to do is, just to be really annoying, is I'm actually going to dezone that area as well, so we can keep it within this square. So I hope that people are keeping up, because it does develop. If you've got no plan, which we haven't, it can get out of control pretty quickly. So more commercials are building. Marquee is click and drag. Oh, is that in the zone bit? Marquee, is that? Oh, I see. So you can, oh, I get you. Right, so if I wanted to turn this residential, I can go from there. Ah, excellent. Brilliant. Thank you, Martin. I did wonder how to do that. Just gone a little bit out there. Right, so there's plenty of industry now to keep it going. Let me just get a full spectral on here. Water, right, commercial area. I haven't put my taps along far enough, so let's just go down here. So we went, so must be, oops. Oh, what did I do there? Right, let me just destroy that there. That's it. Right, so water. Because I didn't measure out 440. I'm going to have to guess it's about there. Put that to there. There we go. And it's saying, right, so now this was the other thing that I noticed the other day when I used electric and I reduced, so I could reduce the cost of electric. After a little while, you got these signs come up to say that these companies haven't got electric or whatever. So I went up to the budget and I just simply increased the budget there, and it just saves a few quid each time. So and there we go. It won't take long before they come back and you're up to 100, and then you've got to start expanding on your wind farms, but at least then you're saving yourself a few currency while doing it. So now we won't have any educated workers as yet because we haven't built any education, but there is an elementary school here that we can build, and also we have no Medicare at the moment, so we shall go in and build a medical clinic. I think we'll probably wait until tomorrow now before we do that, or shall we add those in today? I think we'll get those in today, shall we? And so we've got the perfect area actually, because this is where you want to concentrate your medical and your education, because this is obviously where they all live. So let's first of all go in education. Let's build a primary school. Let's start getting some kids educated. It's finding the right place. Does it fit on the end there? Let's put it there where it's in a nice cul-de-sac, always a safe place for children. There we go. Lots of happy faces because now they're going to start getting educated, which is great. And while we're at it, we shall build our health centre. And again, we really want to put it down there. So I'm going to, again, go into that cul-de-sac and put it in opposite the school, just there. And again, that keeps everyone happy. Lots of smiley faces. So makes everyone a bit happier. Let's get out of there and come back. Oh, it's raining. Right, so we're cracking on. We've got education, we've got healthcare, we've got garbage. Everywhere's got water, everywhere's got electric. So we're doing all right. We could probably do with building up our garbage, because that seems to be piling up. Nothing seems to be going quick enough. So let's have a look at garbage in the budget, see if we can help that along. I can't remember which way around, but above 100% is inefficient. So 150 cost is like 25 extra thing use or pinch, but it's cost effective. So yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Right. So there's a question then for everybody. So we've got garbage here. So does that mean we need, oh, an electric's gone again. So let's just, we might as well, we're about there now. So let's bang that up to 100%. But as you can see, the water's still at 70%. So we're doing all right there. We need to, interestingly enough, how do we get more garbage trucks in use? 1 of 15. So how do we get more garbage trucks? Martin, any useful tips there? We obviously need more garbage trucks working the streets. Do we just up the budget, or do we have to put more in place? Garbage being processed, landfill usage. The garbage centre, meaning that it can't get to the resi. Why can't it get to the resi then? I'll tell you why. Because my roundabout isn't complete. Right, that's my fault. All right, so let's There we go. Should be able to now. Let's try again. Didn't complete my roundabout. That's why. There we go. Here we go. 5:15, 6:15. Thank you, Martin. There we go. Right. Yeah, no, I know there's going to be a delay. So it's about 30 seconds. Now, here's a simple one that you shouldn't really like to see as a mayor. We have an abandoned building, but at the same time, it gives us the chance to watch a building being built. So what we can do now, close that down, we get hold of our, now underneath my camera, which I shall move over just a moment, there is a bulldozer sign. So if you ever want to demolish anything, you just literally click on the bulldozer up to the property that you want to demolish and click, bosh, it's gone. So and we'll get out of bulldozer mode. I'll put my camera back there, and then it allows us to watch another building being built. I enjoy that part of this. It's quite cool. There we are, another building being built, and hopefully we'll have some more happy happy people living there. Right, so, oh, and another one over there, so we'll get rid of that one. I'm guessing that's probably because they weren't happy that there was a pile up of rubbish, basically. I'll tell you why it's been abandoned. Yep. Yes, so I didn't look at that, but yes, it will. If there is an abandoned building, it will tell you why, if you hover over its name to tell you why it's abandoned. Now we have another one over here, not enough workers, and that's because we've now got a very high demand for residential areas. So let's hit pause, and I think we're probably going to end today just by building a bit more residential area. There is a bit more that I could build here, but actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this out a bit. So I'm using a main road, so we're going to come out, we'll come out 30, we'll come across, and we'll try and line up with the junction here. There we go. And then we'll whip that back towards the junction, and then what we'll do is we'll grab some smaller roads and we'll go across. Now it's a very boring city scenario. There's no free form to it at the moment. We'll do that at another time. At the moment it's just all about just sort of getting things built, and I just want to, so here we got the fill, the marquee, small brush, big brush. The marquee was the one that Martin, thank you very much, said that you can drag and you can decide which bits you want. But in this case, I just want to fill in these squares or rectangles and get people moving in. So let's go back to it. Just let me check my water pipes. So everything all covers there, electric all covers. And actually in a moment we can probably get rid of some of these horrible wires that we don't need. So we'll look at that probably tomorrow now, and start to tidy things up a bit. And we'll also start looking at, we're not there yet, but at some point we can start putting parks in and making the neighbourhoods a bit more pleasant. So there we go, people moving in very quickly. This will start to bump up our population. I think we're nearly at the next milestone, which I think is 300 and, no, next milestone is 750. So we're actually about there, 742 at the moment, 748, any second now. Next milestone, there we go. So we can now buy a new area, which we don't need to do at the moment. We can start naming areas of our city. We can start introducing policies. We can get a second loan if we need to. District specialisation, not sure what that is. Services policy, we'll have to look at those. Might have to do a bit of research on what they are. We can bring the fire service, police, got some unique buildings. Start building some forestry area and agricultural area. Making policies on power usage, water usage, and smoke detector distribution. That's an interesting one. And a couple of new buildings, a firehouse and police station, which obviously ties in with this here. And under unique buildings, we can have a winter market. Oh, now my last city was 19,000, 17,000, and because I reached that, this comes with you. So whatever you do on another city, I found out some of those things carry across to other new cities that you start. So I can have a winter market in this city, even though I haven't reached the required 4,600, simply because I have done in one of my other cities. So, and then there's achievements. We'll look at those another time. So there we are. Great news. City can now annex a new adjacent area. So what it's basically saying is, how do I find that? You mentioned something other. How does they stick it at 12 for all? I think I already did that, Martin. I think it was 12. Yes, 12 for everything. Funny enough, I watched a YouTube video and someone mentioned that, and I did that and nobody moaned. And then I tried putting it up to 13 and people started leaving. Right, so here's another abandoned building. So if we click on it, it just says abandoned. Doesn't actually say why that wasn't abandoned, but we'll just get rid of that building anyway. There we go, and the one next to it, and then others can build. So back to areas. So this is a 2x2, and it now means apparently that I can buy other land, but I never found out how to do that when I was in the last area. So that's something to look up, unless Martin, you've got any insight into tell me how I can do that. I think, oh, actually, do I click that? Ah, there we go. Just figured it out. So I can now build buy any of these adjacent plots, and if you click on them, yep, so that tells you it's 5,000. So I could buy this if I wanted to, but to be honest, we're so small at the moment, we're nowhere near. Tells you what natural resources each of them have. So this is farming, this is forestry. So I think most of this is farming and forestry. Yeah, there's no sort of minerals or anything that we can pluck out of at the moment. But anyway, we're not going to buy them at the moment. We don't need to. We're just going to concentrate on getting this built. Now, if I am right, oh no, we still need to keep that there for a minute. However, and we're not really in demand for anything at the moment. They're not building any more residential, not building any commercial, possibly some more on the industrial side, but we'll have a look at that tomorrow now. I think we're getting towards the end of our hour. So I hope that's a good platform. And over on that building, abandoned, I'll tell you why. Not sure why it's so hidden. On that building window, hover over the grey icon. Building window. All right, well, I'll have a look at the next one, Martin, that comes up. I couldn't see another icon. At the moment, the only thing I'm getting is, I'm getting a few sad faces. I can't see why. But we'll, like I say, I am absolutely bang new to this. So if you've joined us today, thank you, Martin, for coming. Maximum size for a stock city tile is 9x9 in any order. You can mod up to 25 tiles or even mod to... Well, we're going to come to mods because I'm very interested to know about a few mods, because the reason why I bought this game was because I'd heard so much about the Sunset Harbour thing, and I need to know a bit more, because when I bought it I thought that was all part of it. Then I realised that you had to buy lots of additional extras. So we're going to come to that, because I've been doing a little bit of research on it. So I will be buying a new one in the next few days to see how that works. But right now we're just going to build up. I've got a bit of an electric failure over here. Not enough electric. So let's have a look at my electric. Yeah, so that's just saying it's low. I know it's 100% because I've already done that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to bang in another wind turbine, and tell you what, while we're there, let's bang in another 2. That should hopefully give us enough electric, so we're back up in the green again. So everybody's good, and that's all ready to go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to knock it on the head for today. But let me make sure I get this in the right order. I don't want to lose what we've done. Wait for a sale. Some of the older DLCs are like 75% off. Great tip. Martin, you've been a star for joining us today. Now, I'm going to save this game, and I'm going to call this Ely, which is the name of the town, and today's date, which has escaped me, is the 4th of May. So there we go. So that's the one saved for today. I'm going to pop that up on the cloud, because then if I go home and have a look at it, I can have a look. And so that's saved, ready for tomorrow. So thank you for joining me today. I'm not sure if you've learned anything or even recaptured anything, but thanks for joining me. I'll do another one tomorrow, so make sure you hit subscribe and the old notifications button, or I'll set up a link in the morning, and I'll do another one at exactly the same time tomorrow at 4 o'clock in UK time, and I'll look forward to seeing you then. All right, cheers, bye.